special properties, principle of good administrative behavior.
Mostly to keep us safe.
More useful and efficient regulatory measures.
The carbon-fluorine bond and the perfect shielding of the carbon backbone of fluorine atoms. These products have special properties which makes them indispensable in key applications. Medical implants, surgery instruments, the non-flammable cables in airplanes, the batteries of e-mobiles, smartphones, 5G data transmission, the electrolyzers of manufacturing green hydrogen, and the Green Deal targets of the European Union. All this is based on the use of fluoropolymers. If we would replace them by other polymers, we would lose the superior property profile and most of all the safety function. Therefore, we need the complete exemption of all fluoropolymers from the PFAS restriction proposal.
So fluoropolymers are a very special kind of polymers, and they're only used when nothing else works. They're used in extreme cold, they're used in extreme heat, and they're used in the presence of very aggressive chemicals. Fluoropolymers are used mostly to keep us safe. They're also very expensive and would have been replaced long ago if something better and more cost-effective would have been available. So just a couple of examples of trade-offs that no one is prepared to make. A lot of fluoropolymers are used in aircraft, and they're used in aircraft because they don't burn. They're used in aircraft because they keep the kerosene safe. Kerosene is a very aggressive material, and I don't think that anyone wants to settle for less safe materials while in the air. Another example is the energy transition that Europe wants to make. Hydrogen is playing a big role in that, and in order to make hydrogen and in order to generate electricity from hydrogen, and you know hydrogen is a very explosive material, fluoropolymers are instrumental in that. A last example is the reshoring of the semiconductor industry into Europe. Semiconductors are made using very aggressive fluids. And in order to keep these fluids in their containers, fluoropolymers are used. And here is very simple. If we can't use fluoropolymers, there will be no semiconductor industry in Europe. So let's hope that the European Union is committed to keep us safe and prosperous.
Fluoropolymers fall within the scope of the proposal to restrict PFAS and derogation products, which covers a rather significantly broad group of substances. The predominant basis for that proposal is the assumption that all substances within the scope are qualified to meet the criterion to be very persistent. But only for some of these substances, additional hazard criteria can be established, which does not hold true for fluoropolymers. To that end, the proposal seems to be based on the precautionary principle. From a legal perspective, it needs to be noted, however, that the precautionary principle can only be applied if there is a certain level of uncertainty after a risk assessment on basis of scientific evidence. Insofar, the precautionary principle cannot be applied to circumvent any risk assessment. And to that end, it's questionable whether the proposal meets overall general legal principles like the principle of good administrative behavior, the principle of legal certainty, and the principle of proportionality.
Fluoropolymers are safe substances. They are polymers of low concern according to the OECD criteria. Concerns related to fluoropolymers have been traditionally focused on the use of other PFAS substances during manufacture. However, recently industry has taken significant steps to move away from the use of those PFAS substances. The only remaining issue around fluoropolymers is the potential generation of PFAS byproducts during incineration. However, here again, there has been significant progress that demonstrates that under certain conditions, fluoropolymer waste can be safely incinerated, leading to complete thermal destruction. With the concerns around fluoropolymers limited to the waste stage, it is evident that there is more useful and efficient regulatory measures that can be used to tackle those concerns, such as the Industrial Emissions Directive or specific legislation around waste treatment. Therefore, it is clear that a REACH restriction for fluoropolymers is not justified. Furthermore, the proportionality concept needs to be taken into consideration as well, since any generation of PFAS byproducts from waste treatment of fluoropolymers will be significantly lower than any other sources that could lead to greenhouse emissions or other type of pollution during waste treatment.